So I don't know about you, but for me, kiddies cakes are just the most therapeutic to decorate. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you are just seeing this channel, you are welcome, and feel free to click the subscribe button and the notification bell to get notified whenever we drop an update. So in this video, I will be talking you through how I made this birthday cake for a 10-year-old girl using white, pink and lilac color. Now this is me just basically covering the cake with fondant using the paneling method. Yes, somehow this method has become one of my favorite ways of covering a cake using fondant. Now for my paneling method, what I do is that I roll out the fondant, measure my cake, cut the fondant to the size of the cake, and then leave the fondant on the table for a while to basically settle and I wouldn't say dry up a bit, but to just relax and firm up a bit, so that when I'm lifting it up, I don't have issues of the fondant stretching out of shape or losing its shape. That way it keeps its shape and I'm able to lift it without fear of it tearing. And I'll also be dropping my fondant recipe soon on this channel. I hope you click the subscribe button and get to see that when I do that. This fondant recipe is just a banger, and it can be used during rainy season, dry season, whichever weather or whatever weather you are in. It's just something else. And yes, like I said earlier, I will be dropping that soon. Now I'm done wrapping the cake with fondant and trimming out the excess. Ensure you trim every bit of fondant on top of the cake, because if you don't do that, your fondant will bulge when you turn it over. So ensure you trim level with the cake before flipping it over. Now for the top of the cake, there's this line that shows when you finish wrapping your cake. For this cake, I'm not so bothered about that line because it's going to have some form of decoration on top of it. It's going to have a pink ombre rainbow on top of it, and most times once the line is clean, I just leave it. But if you're bothered about it, I also have a video where I show you how to cover that line on top of the cake. But if it is clean and straight, I don't think you should give yourself the stress of doing that. Now I'm done with covering my cake and I'm making the star of the cake, which is the ombre rainbow. When I say an ombre rainbow, if you don't know what I mean, it means making a rainbow with one color, but this time around the color it either gets from dark to a lighter shade or from a lighter shade to a darker shade. And this one I am using a lighter shade to a darker shade. I'm starting with white. Now to make this rainbow, what I do is that I have a structure at the back of the rainbow. I use a card or a straw board. What else can you use? Can use a carton, but in this case I'm just using a plain card for the structure. So you lay your card and then you begin to arrange your log of fondant. Now I've placed the white one and I'm going in with the next shade, which is a lighter shade of pink. So I'm adding just a tiny bit of pink to white fondant and I'm mixing it and blending it in before I roll out the next log. This I will continue to do. I'll keep adding pink to the leftover fondant, and that way it becomes lighter every time, it becomes darker every time I add pink to the leftover fondant I got from the log I have made. I just don't know if I'm making sense, but please just follow this video, and if you have questions, feel free to drop that in the comment section and I will get to it and answer your question. So I did two rainbows, a slightly bigger one and a tiny one that I placed at the bottom of the cake. So I'm using the same fondant to make the 2 rainbows. After doing this, you now leave your fondant to dry a bit. Now there's a quick tip I have for drying your rainbow or your fondant structures, and that tip is, after doing this, after making the rainbow, I just quickly toss the rainbow into my oven for a few seconds, a few minutes. If you are afraid of the heat ruining your rainbow, you just, when you finish baking, turn off the heat in your oven, and then you place your fondant figurines, or something you want to dry fast. You just place it in the oven, leave it there for about 3 to 5 minutes, and then you bring it out. When you bring it out, it's a bit swollen like marshmallows. Don't touch it, don't worry about it. Just leave it in the open air to dry and become cold. Once it is cold and dry, it dries hard and fast, then you can easily use your rainbow. So this is me. I have outlined the shape of the rainbow on the card I am using, and I will be cutting it out and using it. Please, if you're still on this channel, if you're still watching me, it means you like what you are seeing, and why haven't you subscribed to this channel? If you're a cake decorator, if you're a cake maker, this channel is a useful tool to your caking journey, because here our aim is to make cake making and cake decorating as simple and as easy as it can get. I am basically a self-taught cake maker who keeps learning every day and is happy to share that learning experience with you. So feel free to subscribe and get to know me better. Now I am cutting out the shape of the rainbow from the card. After doing this, I will be covering the card with fondant, because yes, just for good measures. If you're okay with the card on your cake, it's fine. But one thing I would want us to take note of is that for this particular card I am using, something was printed on it, and it is not the print on it wasn't done with edible colors, so I wouldn't want that color to bleed into my fondant and cause harm to my clients. And yeah, if you are having issues with that, ensure you cover your card or whatever structure you're using behind your rainbow with fondant. That way it even attaches easily to your rainbow. Now I am done with my rainbow and I've left it out to dry, and I am making my bow. Yes, on this particular cake you get to learn different techniques. Now this is me making my bow in such a simple, easy, quick way. I've cut out my fondant in about 10 inches. Yes, it's about 10 inches long, and then I'm placing my former, which is a piece of tissue. Ensure that the tissue you are using on both sides are fairly equal in size, so you have the same size. Then I make the other parts of the bow, and I am good to go. Once I am done with all these tiny bits of decoration on the cake, I just begin to place them on my cake, and my cake is good to go. This particular cake, I think I did this part of it live here on YouTube, so you can also watch the raw unedited clip of me making this rainbow on YouTube live. Yep. So you just go ahead, squeeze the tip so it looks like something that is tied, and then I am making the parts where what I would use to cover the middle of the bow. Just another tiny strip I cut, and then make a pleat. Yes, and then place it on the rainbow, on the bow. What I'm spraying on it is just water to enable my fondant stick to the other fondant, as in to enable the tiny piece stick to the bowl. When you spray water on fondant, it acts like glue. Yeah, some people use edible glue made out of water and CMC. Using just water is fine, as water and fondant automatically becomes glue. This is me just placing all my decorating different aspects of the decorating pieces I have made, the bowl, and placing it carefully, ensuring that it is properly placed on the cake. You just make sure that once you are doing cakes for kids, the details are very, very important. Do not play with the details, the color combinations and all that. So this is just me adding all the tiny bits of the decoration to make it look beautiful. I think at this stage I'll just allow you enjoy the remaining parts of the video without boring you with my voiceover. So I hope this video helps you. I hope I hope you get to learn a thing or two from this video. I hope your cake decorating journey becomes a little bit easier just by following this channel. So thank you so much for watching. Bye bye and see you next time.